I'm back for another collective alchemical oracle card reading. To avoid redundancy, I won't go into how oracle cards and tarot tie in with our brand of spiritual alchemy, but if you want a detailed explanation, please watch the first few minutes of the first video in the oracle readings playlist entitled You Are Not Finished. I will, however, give a brief recap of how both the cards in the Alchemist Grimoire deck are used, as well as the layout positions in the alchemical elemental spread that I use. Each card in the Alchemist Grimoire has what would normally be thought of as a divinatory message, as well as a spell designed to speak in subconscious symbolism to help alchemize that card's meaning. The symbols that appear in the top corners of each card can either be used as focal points for quiet meditation or as sigils that can be incorporated into that card's spell. For the layout itself, there are 5 positions. Earth represents the material foundation of the situation, tangible conditions, and whether there's stability or instability present. Air is the mental atmosphere, beliefs, internal narratives, and messages from the higher self. Now, fire is all about action. It's the will, motivation, desires, and whatever else drives or even blocks momentum. Water represents your emotional truths, intuition, subconscious influences, and relational dynamics. And finally, there's spirit, which synthesizes and balances the other cards into a final outcome. This could be an overarching lesson or deeper integrative meaning. This is also the only card where the associated spell should definitely be performed, with all the others being optional. That being said, I'm trying something a little different in this video, so let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, this is a collective reading, so it may not necessarily resonate with everyone. Rest assured, though, if it applies to you, your subconscious will draw the correlations. Now, let's get down to it. Okay, in the Earth position, we have the Shard. Now, the Shard reveals that the tangible foundation of this situation is shaped by damage that has already occurred, but not by complete collapse. Something in the physical or practical realm bears the mark of fracture. This could be a diminished resource, a disrupted routine, a structure weakened by strain, or even a body or environment carrying the aftermath of stress or loss. The break is real, and it's affected how this situation currently stands. However, Earth makes it clear that what is broken is still present. The shard has not disappeared, and likewise, the foundation has not crumbled entirely, but has only changed form. There's enough material integrity here to support recovery, but only if the fracture is acknowledged rather than ignored. Stability is possible, but it won't come from pretending the damage never happened. This card suggests that practical conditions now require attention, honesty, and care. Repair begins with recognition, with naming what is missing or compromised or no longer functioning as it once did. This can involve adjusting expectations, reallocating resources, tending to physical well-being, or even rebuilding routines at a slower, more deliberate pace. The shard indicates a foundation that is tender but workable. What's present is enough as long as it's handled gently and consciously. Ignoring the break would risk further instability, but recognizing it and honoring it creates the possibility for reintegration. So, in a nutshell, the ground beneath this situation is cracked, but not gone. The moment you acknowledge what has fractured, the process of restoration can truly begin.
Hold a piece of quartz, amethyst, or tourmaline in your hand. Grip the crystal tightly, focusing on how solid it feels. Say aloud,
"Piece of pain, I hold you near. I mend myself, the way is clear."
Slowly relax your grip on the crystal. As your grip loosens, visualize and feel healing light radiating from within the center of your hand.
And moving on to the air position, we have the lantern. This reveals a mental landscape shaped by uncertainty paired with inner guidance. Your thoughts may feel clouded, incomplete, or maybe in transition, as though you're moving through fog, for example, without a clear map. There may be unanswered questions, shifting beliefs, or a sense that old ways of thinking no longer illuminate the path ahead. Mentally, this can feel unsettling, especially if you're used to having clarity before taking action. Now, similar to the shard, this card emphasizes that while the outer view is obscured, the inner light is intact. Your mind is receiving subtle guidance from within, through intuitive impressions, gut level instincts, or even fleeting insights that come when you stop trying to force the conclusions to arise. Air here suggests that your higher self is offering direction instead of explanation. The mind's role isn't to solve everything at once, but to notice what feels true. The lantern also points to internal narratives built around trust. You may be questioning whether your instincts are reliable, or maybe even assuming that certainty has to come from some sort of external validation. This card, though, challenges that belief. Mental clarity won't come from overthinking or even gathering more information. It will come from turning inward and listening differently. Communication, both with yourself and others, benefits from simplicity right now. Say only what you think and think only one step ahead. Air becomes steadier when you allow understanding to unfold gradually rather than trying to demand immediate answers. So, the lantern shows a mind learning to move forward without full visibility. What feels unclear now is not meant to stop you, but rather meant to teach you trust. The light you carry is enough to guide the next step, and with each step, the path will further reveal itself.
Light a small white or yellow candle. Place it before a mirror in a darkened space. Say aloud,
"Flame before me, mirror behind. Show me the truth that hides in my mind. By light and sight, clarity I find."
Sit quietly, gazing at the flame and your reflection. Let thoughts rise without judgment. When ready, snuff the candle and journal what emerged.
Okay, let's see what's in the fire. In the fire position, the record keeper reveals that the force driving this situation is ancestral, patterned, and or informed by memory. Your motivations are fueled by stories that existed long before this moment, whether those be habits of action, responses to conflict, or desires shaped by lineage, cultural, or personal history. What feels like a new challenge is actually activating an older script. Fire here can manifest as determination rooted in legacy. You may feel compelled to act in familiar ways because they are deeply encoded and thus comfortable. Now, this could be a source of strength, granting you access to resilience, wisdom, and hard earned survival strategies. But at the same time, if it just becomes your default setting and is left unexamined, these inherited patterns can actually limit your choices, causing you to repeat responses automatically that no longer serve the present situation. The record keeper asks Fire to become conscious rather than automatic. What drives you forward isn't just passion, but memory. So the question is basically which parts of the story are meant to be carried forward and which parts are ready to be revised. Fire that is informed by awareness becomes intentional, but fire that ignores its origins risks burning in circles. Where action is blocked, this card suggests hesitation born of old caution, passed down fears, or an unconscious loyalty to past outcomes, even if that is misguided. Where action flows, it does so with reverence, honoring what came before while choosing a different expression now. So, Fire reveals that the energy at work is not demanding reinvention, but rather recognition. By learning from the lineage, whether that be personal, ancestral, or even symbolic, you gain the power to act with clarity rather than compulsion. The flame doesn't need to reject the past, it just needs to understand it.
Open an old journal or book slowly. Run your fingers over the page with intention. Say aloud,
In ink and memory, truth remains. I turn the page, I break the chains.
pause and notice what words or feelings rise. Feel yourself releasing old patterns as you read.
Okay, in the water position, the crossing reveals that the emotional heart of the situation is shaped by transition. Beneath the surface, there's a deep feeling of being suspended between what was and what is becoming. Emotionally, you may feel torn, vulnerable, or maybe quietly unsettled. Not necessarily because something is wrong, but because you're standing at a threshold. Old emotional identities are loosening, but the new ones haven't fully formed yet. This card suggests unspoken emotions connected to choice and readiness. There may be grief for what is being left behind, even if it no longer serves you, because again, there's a reason why they call it a comfort zone. But there may also be anticipation, fear, or reluctance around what lies ahead. Now, these feelings might not be fully articulated because they contradict one another. Hope and sorrow existing side by side, for example. But water holds both of them without judgment. Relationally, the crossing can indicate shifting dynamics. You or even others involved may be emotionally recalibrating, unsure how to relate from this in-between space that you find yourself in. Bonds may feel uncertain, not because they're broken, but because they're being redefined. At its core, this card reveals an emotional truth that cannot remain neutral indefinitely. Water, after all, flows toward resolution. Avoidance, delay, or emotional stalling can intensify discomfort, but what brings relief is intentional movement, choosing, even if only gently, which direction aligns with your emotional integrity. So water shows the heart already knows it can't stay here forever. The crossing isn't something happening to you, but rather something you're participating in. When you step forward with purpose, the emotional waters begin to settle, and the new self you're becoming finds its footing.
Draw a straight line in chalk, salt, or scratched into the earth. Stand on one side of the line, facing forward. Say aloud,
I cross with courage, soul, and flame. This path ahead, I now reclaim.
take a slow, deep breath, breathing in confidence. On the exhale, take a deliberate step forward and cross the line.
In the spirit position, we have the tether. This reveals that the ultimate outcome of the situation is awareness of energetic entanglement, but also the opportunity to disengage. Spirit brings into focus a bond, belief, or unresolved emotional tie that has been quietly draining energy and vitality across all levels of the experience. Now, this isn't a sudden attachment, but a long-standing one whose influence has gone mostly unquestioned. You kind of see a theme in this reading as we go through the cards. Anyhow, as an outcome, this card suggests that clarity arrives around what is pulling on you and also why. You may recognize how a particular commitment, narrative, or emotional loop has been siphoning energy from your body, as we saw in the shard, narrowing your thoughts, as we saw in the lantern, fueling inherited reactions from the record keeper, and intensifying the emotional tension of transition in the crossing. Spirit exposes the thread that runs through and connects them all. Because Spirit binds the elements, the tether also speaks to choice and reclamation. Recognition alone weakens the cord. Once named, the entanglement no longer operates unconsciously. This does not necessarily demand abrupt severing, as sometimes spirit works better through a gradual loosening, renegotiation, or a conscious release. What matters most here is that your energy is no longer given automatically. As I said earlier, you don't want to fall into your default setting. At a deeper level, this card teaches that freedom isn't found in escape, but in sovereignty. You're not trapped, you're connected beyond what is necessary. The moment you reclaim your authority over where your attention, emotion, and effort flow, the tether begins to release its hold on you. So the spiritual outcome here is liberation through awareness. When you recognize what has been draining you, the elements realign, energy returns, and spirit restores your capacity to move forward unburdened.
Light incense or a cleansing herb bundle. Pass the smoke around your body, particularly the heart and wrists. Say aloud,
I release this tether, fray and knot. Bound no more, I am not.
Visualize cords unbinding and dissolving.
So that's the reading. I'm just going to leave that here. Let me know in the comments if any of this resonated with you, how you like the new format. Do you think I should keep including examples of all the spells, or do like I did in my first reading and just put them in the comments? Your feedback is always appreciated. And I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching these videos and for your support. It would be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe, like, comment, or even share this video with someone you feel would benefit from it, as that will help the work reach a larger audience, and in turn will help us as a collective reach to a higher level of self-awareness. Again, though, I want to thank you for watching this. As always, walk in peace and light, my friends.